Hello everyone, Agustin here. As you know, we released the new AudioStellar 1.4, and in this video we will check out its new graphics and UX features, and we are pretty excited about it, so let's start right away. The first one of my favorites, is that now we can find a much darker background color. Now it's like deep black background color, and that is very useful for the ones that display AudioStellar when they are performing, or when maybe they project AudioStellar. This make things much better. You can see the high contrast now between the particles and the background. It's much better for projections. So another addition to this new version is that using the arrows of the keyboard, now we are able to move through the map in a smoother way, as you can see here. This is great for some performances like this. And actually in my keyboard I don't have page up, page down, but you can use those keys to zoom in and zoom out too. Another thing that you might find right away if you already installed it, AudioStellar, or if you are watching this video, is that the sequences now are much smoother. How the particle moves through the sequences are really nice now. Makes things much easier to understand, much nicer to see. Let's unmute this one. And another thing is that it's more effective. As soon as it passes by, this sound is much more precise than before. So we are very happy about this improvement. Let's also add this one and see how it sounds. So another pretty exciting feature is that now we are able to change the color of our clusters. So let's go to settings and clustering. Now you can see that there's one new tab called palettes here. If we go to palette, we're gonna find that we have a classic palette, which is the one that we already have in this in AudioStellar. If we press plus, we can create a new one, or we can duplicate. Okay, the one that we have. Let's go back to the classic one here. If we create a new, if we duplicate, we can change the name. Instead of putting, let's say, classic. Okay, very original. I leave the same one by mistake. Okay, rename it. I will put classic 2. There you go. Oh, I already have that name. Classic 3. There you go. And now to continue with the example, all these sounds can be turned into from blue to white to black, again to blue, and then, for example, to red. And then I can move all this orange to the ones that are here. Okay, we can make it blue, and we can change the clusters color as we like. Sorry about that. Okay, with that's such a major feature, because if we include all the sounds in the same cluster, we can turn them into the same color. As we can see here, they are all red. That was impossible to be done before. For example, I can make it all here. Let's say light blue, just like that. And this one too. Okay, let's go back to the classic palette that we have here. Well, first I want to show you one that I created that is called video example. There you go. No, as soon as I change, they're gonna ask me if I want to save it. I said no. In this case, this one everything is kind of reddish, something like that, and I really like it. But let's go back to the classic one to show you the next feature of AudioStellar. That this is a big change for how AudioStellar works. In the previous version, we have clusters with different colors, but right now, as you can see here, we have orange cluster and a light blue cluster, right? So now, if we grab by doing right-click one of the dots and we move it next to the light blue dots, it's gonna become part of the light blue cluster just by moving it next to them. That's a very useful feature if you, for example, are using the evolution section of the sequences, so you can make some sounds part of the clusters that you are using it. Also, something that happened to me many times is that I feel that in a map, one of the clusters have sounds that seems like it doesn't belong to that cluster in terms of they are different. The sound is different compared to the other sounds. So now if I move it to another cluster, it's gonna belong to the right one. Okay, one thing that is not new in AudioStellar 1.4, but it's worth to mention, is that there's a nice shortcut for selecting the units, which is numbers from 1 to 9 of our keyboard. We can use it as a shortcut to change to the first 9 units. That's quite nice. And now that we're talking about units here, obviously you have seen this new green button that is called Activate button. This Activate button allows us to, of course, activate and deactivate the unit. And before showing you what it does, first let's unmute everything here. Okay, so if we mute, you're gonna see that sound stops right away. But if we deactivate, actually the samples continue until the sound finishes, so it disappears much smoother. But not only that, the main reason why there is an activate and deactivate button is because by deactivating units like this, we free resources from our computer. So if we are using many units, as I'm using now, it can be very helpful for us. So that is the new Activate and Deactivate button in the unit panel. One last thing that is useful, again, for the users that like to perform show in AudioStellar, is that by pressing Command-Shift-B in a Mac or Control-Shift-B in Windows, we can make the main menu to disappear. We can also, by pressing Command-G or Control-G, we make the other menus, the unit menu, to disappear too, and we can have a cleaner map. So for performing, that's great. Or in another case, just like this one, if you're doing videos, it's also nice sometimes to get rid of all the menus. Well, okay, I think we covered the main new improvements, graphic and UX improvements of AudioStellar 1.4. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we have a link if you want to make a donation. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. And please don't forget to leave a comment below telling us what do you think about these improvements. Also, if you have new suggestions, that would be great. We want to hear about you. And thanks as always, and keep us updated with whatever you do with AudioStellar. Thank you.